So if you've been waiting for a way to earn some ILV by playing Illuvium, well, that time is here, that time is now. There are two events going on right now that you can earn quite a bit of ILV. There's one alluvial capturing event. They're calling it a mega hunt. That's giving away 550 ILV, along with the Testnet airdrop. That's giving away, I believe it's 200,000 ILV. And these two can compound on top of each other for the month of June. So let's get started here. For the airdrop, now this is not just going for June. This is going for the length of the open beta testnet, which we're on right now. Technically, it could end in June if that's when the open beta mainnet starts. But we haven't had a solid date set for that yet. But here's how it's going to work. So before I dive into this image, you'll have to be racking up these airdrop points, and at the end of the period, the amount of airdrop points you have is compared to the field, and you will get your share, your portion of that ILV. Now, the first way to earn some of these points is just by every hour you play, you're going to get 100 points. And that works not only for the overworld, but that actually works for Illuvium 0 and the arena. So no matter what part of the Illuvium ecosystem you're playing, you can start getting 100 points every hour. And I believe that says that down here as well. Yeah, every hour of playtime in any of the three games earns you 100 points. So they do have that AFK filter, which is going to be a 15-minute filter. So you can't just log in and just stay logged in all day. After 15 minutes, it's going to stop counting that. So let's take a look at these alluvials. And this is where you're going to be able to really rack up the airdrop points. The 100 points per hour of time played is really going to end up being just like the little extra for the time that you spent. But collecting these alluvials is really how you're going to get these rewards. So to start, we have the tier 0s. Now, everything, whether you're traveling and trying to catch tier 0s up to tier 5, is essentially free because we're on the private testnet, and you can get a free 0.1 ETH of testnet ETH, so it has no value, but you can claim that daily. So essentially, all of this is just free to play. But the reason why these higher tier alluvials are going to be worth a lot more points is because they're a lot more rare and harder to get. So these are all your tier 0s, and even when we get to mainnet, these are going to be free to catch. So each of these lines of alluvials, whether it's tier 0 up to tier 5, have 3 different stages. For the tier 0s, they basically look the same, but they do change for the higher tiers. So you'll have to catch for the tier 0, the lesser version, the greater version, and the exalted version. If you complete that set, basically check that box off for 20 points. Now, I do think there's a little typo in here if you're looking at this. Some of these say 300 points, but that has got to be wrong. These are all tier 0s. They should all be 20 points right here. And you can even see when you complete this whole tier 0 set, you'll get the 700 points because you'll get the 500 plus a 200 bonus for completing it. So then we'll move on to our tier 1s. So we have some cool alluvials here. We have basically our Pikachu of Illuvium here in Atlas. So if you go on and you catch, or not even catch, you can fuse these as well. So you can catch a bunch of Atlas. So you need 3 Atlas to fuse into an Axon, and then 3 Axon to fuse into an Axodon. But once you complete this set, 75 points. Now, if you complete all the other tier 1s, you're going to end up with 1,300 points because of that plus 400 bonus. Now, another thing while I'm saying this, originally, this is the second iteration of airdrop points that they've put out. And originally, you had to collect the whole tier in order to get those points. And it was said that you could collect multiple of these tiers. So if you had 2 complete sets of a tier 1 alluvial, then you will get double those points. It's not clear if that's still the case, or if you can only do it one time around for this update. I should have figured that out before I made this video. But if you look at the top of this, it says collect them all for 10,000 points. But it doesn't say anywhere in here that you can collect them all multiple times. So I would follow my X, because when I find little things like that, that's something that I'll post on X, and you can see that quicker. So now when you move on to the tier 2 alluvials, if you're not familiar, this is kind of like a very unique tier of alluvials. And if you're familiar with Pokemon, this is kind of like the Eevee version, where it can evolve into multiple different sets. So every tier 2 alluvial starts from a Lynx, and from a Lynx, you can fuse those into its second stage. So the Lynx doesn't have any affinity or class. You can fuse it to its second stage, which has just the class, and then its third stage, which has the class and the affinity. So when you complete these sets, you're getting 500 points. And this might be one of the easiest sets to complete, because when you start traveling to those, stage 2 or even stage 3 runs, you see a ton of Lynx running around. So if you collect all those, you'll have an extra 3,250 points. So now moving on to the tier 3 alluvials. You have your Riptorus line, your Malura line. This is one of my favorites. The Komodo Dragon. But yeah, you're going to get 300 points for completing those sets. Move up to the tier 4s, and you're going to get 600 points for completing these sets. With the bonus, that's 6,600 points. Now, the tier 5s are going to be the really tough ones to find. That's your Ramfire line. That's your Ophisto line. A lot of people are looking at this line like the Charizard of Illuvium. You collect these sets, and you're getting 4,000 just for completing one of these sets. If you catch them all, that's 39,000 points. And by the time you've caught all of the tier 5s, you would have likely caught everything through the previous tiers. So then that's an additional 10,000 points right there. Now, we could have as little as 1 month for this. And on a recent episode of the GameFi Rundown, we had Caveman on, who said he logged over 200 hours in the testnet up until this point, and he still hasn't completed this entire set. So keep that in mind. I would keep that as a number right there. If you're gonna, he said he was close. So if you're going to be looking to try to complete all of these and get basically the max amount of points, start looking at needing at least 200 hours to complete it. But that's just the airdrop points. There is more ILV you can earn stacked on top of this. So this next one here is going to be an Alluvial Hunter series. They're calling it the Mega Hunt, where they're giving out 550 ILV in prizes. Now this is going from June 1st to June 30th, and you need to catch these Alluvials in the game. Fusing them doesn't count. You can't have them traded to you. You can't buy them off of the market, but you can win a decent amount of ILV. So if you're going in and you're just collecting these Alluvials for your airdrop points, seeing any of these should be like a bonus in your mind, and catch it again even if you already have it. So how it's going to work is any one of these you catch, you get basically a ticket into this lottery. And so, for example, if you catch an Ophisto, that's a ticket into the Ophisto lottery, and one winner will win 150 ILV. Now, that's pretty crazy if you ask me. I know ILV is sitting around, I think, $85 right now, but it was just $100. Actually, it was up to $160 pretty recently. So you could be looking at basically $15,000 in ILV if you catch that Ophisto and win it. So then you move down to the Blazonite. So again, every time you catch a Blazonite, which is a tier 4, you're going to get a ticket into this draw. 2 winners are going to win 62.5 ILV. Again, very hefty. Malura is going to be the tier 3 alluvial that you're looking for. Now there's going to be 5 winners collecting 20 ILV from this. I think this is going to be the one that I'm focusing on, because 20 ILV is still, it's a good amount to win in a prize. And there's going to be 5 people who have a chance to win this from the Malura draw. Although, to be fair, anytime I see any of these, I'm going to try to catch them. Then you have the Relentless Ember Links. 10 people are going to win 7.5 ILV. Axodon, 25 people are going to win 2.5 ILV. And even at that rate, 2.5 ILV is over $200 right now. That's pretty good for a lot of people out there. And then finally, for the tier 0s, if you catch an Exalted Airflish, there's going to be 30 winners at 1.25 ILV. Just to cover some of the rules here, it says each bounty alluvial captured is a raffle entry into the corresponding tier. Must be caught, not fused, bought, or traded. So these are all your stage 3 alluvials. So you can't catch the stage 1 and stage 2 and fuse them up. You actually have to find these alluvials and catch them, which is going to make it even harder. They must be in your wallet at the final snapshot and must be captured within the eligible time frame, which again is June 1st to June 30th. But this is pretty exciting. I'm actually going to hop off of this video right now because I want to start collecting these airdrop points and finding some of these alluvials myself. I'm going to be streaming from time to time, so make sure you're subscribed. I always forget to say this, but turn on your notifications if you want to get notified for my videos or when I hop on stream. But again, a lot of ILV up here in the airdrop in this hunting series. Now's the time to be playing. If you have any other questions, let me know down below. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.